by the staff at Race Chaser Online. Your motorsports, your way, every day. And now, here's your host, Jacob Seelman.
This show is already so weird. Oh, see, when Cisco presses the right button, I can actually see myself. This is weird because I'm off to stage right, my left. I'm so confused. Anyway, hi, guys. Welcome to Motorsports Madness. I'm Jacob Seelman. I have to point way over Allie's head to say hi to Tom Baker. It's okay. She's taller than you.
Sitting down and standing up.
Is it the height of the chair?
No. You're taller than me.
With all that said.
Most 12-year-olds are.
Yeah. We're having fun joking already. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Allie Boulay, Randy Miller is behind the glass punching buttons, and Cisco Scaramouza is on the Race Chaser Skype line. And we will get to that here all in just a minute because, well, this is a short little segment to kick us off, Tom, but we're excited because we're going to talk to Scotty Reed tonight and talk about the O'Reilly National Indoor Kart Championships. We're going to hear from a couple of sprint car racers who have done some pretty cool things in the last couple of weeks. Fun show ahead.
See, I'm actually more excited because, like, Allie brought food.
Yes. Oh, by the way, this is our 200th show brought to you by Burger King.
Burger King.
Brought to you by Burger King. 200th show on the Performance Motorsports Network. Thank you, Bob Steele and Susan Mason, for all that you have done for us to help this show grow. And we continue to broadcast live on the Performance Motorsports Network speaker and right here on Facebook Live, Race Chaser Media Facebook Live. And Allie was kind enough to bring us all finger food. And so we're going to be snacking and having a good time tonight and hopefully talking racing while in between bites.
So it's very appropriate that we're celebrating our 200th show tonight, and we have somebody that talks as much as Scotty Reed does, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Scotty's going to be, I think you'll enjoy listening to Scotty. A former sprint car racer, and the event that he's promoting, which I've been a part of, the voice of for the last, this will be my 18th year, is the world's largest indoor dirt kart race. So we're really excited about the 28th edition this year, and we'll talk to Scotty about a lot of things, not just the race.
Oh, exactly right, because there's any number of things that we can get into with Scotty, most of which would probably get us all in trouble, so we'll try and avoid some of those crazy stories and talk about the fun stuff. So, with that, we're going to get ready to get Scotty Reed on the Race Chaser hotline. We're going to step away to a break to do that, and when we come back, we'll talk about go-karts, sprint cars, and all sorts of things. This is Motorsports Madness, where you never know what we're going to get into, and we'll be right back.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ball in street? Girl in street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, Recording Artists Against Drunk Driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
I'm Kaz Gralla, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Good grief. If this is any indication of how the show's going to go, I've already lost track of what I did with my headset during the first break. That means that
You're way too young to have those issues, Jacob.
Oh, I know.
Way
You
too
keep
young.
reminding me. Anyway, welcome back to Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay on this front side of the camera here in the Race Chaser Radio Race City USA studios. On the back side of the wall where we're at is Randy Miller, who's in the tech shed punching buttons. Cisco Scaramouche is joining us via the Race Chaser Skype line, and via the Race Chaser hotline is our first guest who, well, if I decided to do it right, I wouldn't do it justice. So, Tom, you think of a fun intro for Scotty Reed, because I'm sure you can do a whole lot more damage than I can.
The whole problem that I've got with this is I can't think of a fun intro that we can safely do for a family show. So I'm just gonna say a very talented sprint car racer when he was racing sprint cars, now turned the sort of everything for the O'Reilly Auto Parts National Indoor Kart Championship event, which has been going on now for 28 years. I am blessed to be going in my 18th year as the voice of that event, and Scotty is the main man now helping pull it all together. Welcome to the show, Scotty Reed. It is great to have you. The last time you were on my radio show, I was still over in Memphis, and we were on AM 560. So, in fact, I think the last time that you were on the show, we had Brad Bowden, who is your nephew, and we were doing a poll about who was better looking. I can't remember who won.
Well, of course, I won. His story is that he won, but I will say he won a lot more sprint car races than I did. So
yes.
Well,
he's still running.
Yeah,
in
in fairness, I can add to this, having announced some sprint car races that Brad's run in a few years. Yeah, he's probably the only person in the Mid-South I know that talks more than I do. And that's tough.
Wait, somebody talks more than you do?
Oh, hush, Allie.
Well, he does. He loves himself too, but he's become a really good race car driver, and I was glad to be a part of starting his deal out. I raced a year there, and when we were on Tom's show, and always wanted to do that because I raced go-karts for 14, 15 years, and moved up to that 305 division there, and ran it 1 year and figured out real quick that I didn't like that too much. That was it was a lot hard. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It was a good experience, but then I owned a car for 4 or 5 years there, and Brad drove for me. So it was awesome. It was a good experience, and I'm glad Brad's doing well in it still. And now we're doing the largest indoor karting event in the United States now.
Okay, yeah, and you certainly, I mean, look, you basically traded being a sprint car team owner for pulling this go-kart race together. I'm not sure which actually is more difficult, but I have the feeling it's what you're doing now.
Yeah, this is well, and that's Tom, you know this, and a lot of people know there's so much to do to put an event this size together with it being indoors. It's so much different than an outdoor show, and what Lanier and Shane done for so many years prior to me coming on is remarkable. I mean, it's we'll employ over 50 people down there, and moving the track in and the dirt, and Shane putting a really good fast racetrack together that guys come from all over the country to race on. But it's just so much more than just a race. It's an event, the things that we do around the race. The partying on Saturday night or Thursday night that maybe we're not supposed to know about that we know happens.
Yeah.
And and the dodgeball competition and the cornhole challenge and things that we do and the driver interviews that we do that you do during the day is different than any other event in the world and in the United States, and we try to add to it every year, and we look for a really, really big year this year.
All right, Scotty, so you brought up the dodgeball game, and I'm just going to be frank. You need to find a way one of these years to talk Tom into actually being a part of it. I'm sorry, but that would be great entertainment.
Wait, when is this dodgeball game? I want to play.
No.
Oh, you and Tom could be on teams. That's the way we can get Tom in it. That's exactly right. And we want to get a dunk tank. And it was talked about, and Lanier has bought a dunk tank, and I was like, it'd be perfect. Get Tom and you in that. There's no telling how much money we would raise for St. Jude.
Not half as much. Not half as much as we'd raise if you got Lanier in it.
If Lanier's in it,
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Like, are we gonna play with wrenches? Because I would totally be in if we could play with wrenches.
Wow. Okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's the dunk tank is an interesting idea. You get Lanier in that thing, and you'll make $1 million for for that.
It'd be unbelievable.
Oh yeah, I mean it would be off the charts. I don't know how much Lanier would get excited about that, but I figure everybody else would be. But okay, so the race.
He wasn't very excited.
No, I didn't imagine he would be.
He was.
Yeah. So this race actually, it's the 28th anniversary. I mean, it started at the Thunderdome in Memphis on the Memphis Fairgrounds all those years ago, and then moved to Tunica, Mississippi in 2001, which is when I was blessed enough to have Lanier call me and invite me to be a part of it, and now still going all these years later in Batesville, Mississippi. This is a very unique go-kart race in the way, not only the way that it's put together, but also the slot machine trophies and the qualifying. I think, and from being a racer, you got 2 chances. That's it. 2 rounds, and we take 10 out of each round. If there's 80 cars in the class, you're not in the top 20. You're done.
You're done. That's and I think that's what adds a whole lot. Another thing to this race is the amount of guys I talk to, even now, that's been coming for years and still trying to get in their first feature event. They get better, they get faster every year, but it's just a slight turn of the wheel. Last year in our big classes, there were some really fast guys that didn't make the feature because it's so competitive.
Yeah, it really is. It's what's amazing to me always amazed me about this race is that you get such an eclectic mix of racers, not only local racers, but racers from all over the nation. And what I love about the way that Lanier and Shane do this is they change the track from day to day. It doesn't change in size. It changes in, the way it may be really dry one day and not so dry the next, or they try to do something to throw a curveball for the second day so the same person can't dominate the whole weekend in the class.
Oh, that's it. It's the phone's already ringing now. Is it going to be the track going to be the same? And every day I got 2 phone calls today about it, and and Shane will do something a little bit different from year to year, maybe in banking, maybe just something different when we're putting the track in, because he's a part of that from the very beginning. But you're right, from night to night, the surface is going to be different just because you don't want guys locking in on a setup and dominating the entire show. And we've had some guys do very well here. That last year, a couple years ago, Donnie Naw and Jamie Knopf and those guys come over here, and a lot of people would think that they're just going to dominate and win every event, and they're fast guys and have run all over the country, but they'll tell you themselves that this event was really tough. I mean, it was tough competition, and they didn't just come over and just dominate everybody like a lot of people thought they would.
Yeah, it's a really interesting. Like I said, it for me over the course of 18 years, Jacob, this is one of those events that it's never the same twice.
Right.
You have a lot of the same racers, you have a lot of the same officials or whatever, but it's never the same weekend twice just because of the differences in the track from year to year and even day to day.
Well, absolutely, and I can even equate that to the indoor concrete go-karts that I see at the Rumble in Fort Wayne up in Indiana. That, even that track, it's not dirt, but it will change from day to day and year to year, and you have to hit on it that day in order to be successful there. So I'm certainly familiar with how that goes and kind of some of the track changes that these guys have to deal with. And we'll have a lot more with Scotty Reed coming up in our next couple of segments. So we will step aside right now and be back with more Motorsports Madness in just a moment.
Do you love the sound of high revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves the majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
What an awesome game. What's up with your car? I don't know. It won't start. How are we getting home? Chill. My parents signed me up for the roadside assistance from Lewis Meineke. It was free with my oil change. They'd come and get the car started or get us home and tow the car to the shop.
Good to know. With my driving, my parents never know what to expect.
When you join the Meineke Car Care Club with a $35 preferred service, you get 4 free months of roadside assistance, including tire change, battery jump, lockout service, towing, and more. Contact Lewis Meineke, located on Route 1, or call 827-2054.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a lung disease that robs people of their ability to breathe. As many as 24 million Americans suffer from COPD, also known as chronic bronchitis or emphysema, and half of them don't know they have the disease. If you or someone you love is over 35 and has smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime, visit driveforcopd.org and take the screener, then take that to your doctor. I'm Jeff Stoltz, and I drive for COPD.
Hi, I'm Chase Cabre, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now, back to the show.
Oh, that's a good thing. It's good to be back with more Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay in the Race Chaser Radio Race City USA studios here in Mooresville. Randy Miller behind the glass, and on the Race Chaser hotline as we sit is Scotty Reed from the O'Reilly National Indoor Kart Championships. And, well, we kind of threw Tom under the bus last segment, but, that's what we do around here. We have fun, and we kind of have fun making fun of each other. Now, before the break, we were starting to talk about the event itself, and Scotty, you and Tom were talking a little bit about the diversity in drivers that have come through this event through the years, and for me, it brings to mind a couple of names, at least, that I've had some dealings with in the past couple years. What does it say about this event that you can boast that you've had drivers like Ben Rhodes, like Trevor Bayne, who have gone on to such big things on a national stage that came through and got a lot of their start right there at the ONIKC?
Well, and that's, you're exactly right. I mean, there's just so many names that a lot of people don't realize that, that's come through there. And, Ricky Stenhouse and Kevin Swindell on top of those names that you mentioned. And that's kind of the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is how many of the people that they watch race on Friday and Saturday and even Sunday that started in go-karts. And I'd like to see that, get back to that. Our young junior ones and junior two counts haven't been as strong as they've been in the past, and what we're trying to do is see what we can do to get that momentum back, because we got to get these kids in the go-karts at a young age and try to get some of them away from the stick and ball sports.
This this seems to be an issue that's, I mean, we've kind of talked about this now for several years, and I mean, I don't know what the fix is for it. I think dirt kart racing itself is a little bit more fractured than than it was 10 or 15 years ago. There's a lot more little sanctioning bodies and more sort of big money races where I think people think more about those type of events and not so much necessarily, and it's easier to move up at a younger age too. When you can race a late model at 12 or 13 years old, it's kind of hard to keep people in go-karts that long. I don't really know. What do you think that we need to do in order to get that back to where more of the karters can move up?
Well, I think it's something that's not talked about a lot. I think that's what's changed from when I was racing go-karts. I can name you several families of kids that started racing, at a young age, and they raced all the way up through the juniors and into the adult classes before they moved up to a modified or a Legends car or a sprint car or a late model. And now, these kids, they never see the adult classes. They come in, they race a year or two, and they're off to the big cars. But I think some of the, naturally racing's cost and that's what it is. But I think from us around here is the local tracks, they've kind of gone away, and the travel for someone to race go-karts now is a big factor in it, because there's not as much local Saturday night go-kart tracks as there once was.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem, and I think it's a problem in a lot of areas in the middle of the country. And then you have areas like the Northeast where you don't seem to get a lot of drivers who travel beyond their region. So, it just seems like I said earlier, it's become a little more fractured, or maybe I should just say regionalized, to where, you don't see as many people who travel long distances to run these bigger events. But at the same time, the count numbers are still up. We've been over 800, I think, for, the last 3 years. And, the peak of it was about 1,500 when we were still in Tunica. But 800 is still a lot of entries for a 2-day weekend.
Oh, it is. And that's another thing that when we talk about our event, we're probably the only event that has never, it's always been an open tire event.
Yeah.
We pull racers from, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Florida, Georgia. I can just keep naming the states. And in the Midwest, where you've got guys that they run tracks that are Burris tire rules all year long, and we don't want to single out one tire. We want those guys to be able to come race and run whatever they want to bring to race with. And I think it really does help our race, because guys can run tires that's been in their trailer and they've been running all year.
Let's broaden out a little bit and talk, because we've got a worldwide audience for this show, and I'm sure that most of them aren't really savvy about go-karts or even these types of events. First of all, this is an indoor dirt track, and so you have to obviously import the dirt into the facility. Talk a little bit about the process of putting in the track, and then even about selecting the dirt and the way that the dirt needs to be of a certain quality and such in order to make the track sort of bind together right.
Yeah, so what we do is we've used the same dirt now since we've been in Batesville. And what happens is, and for example, and I can give you kind of a real what's going to happen here real soon, is that next week, the dirt's been covered since last year.
Yep.
Down at Batesville, and it's our dirt. And what they'll do is we'll bring the trucks in, and the trucks will bring it into the arena, spread it out, and then we'll let it dry in there. We're hoping that it's fairly dry when it comes in, but we'll let it dry, and then we'll just start working the dirt. And the dirt's in, say next Wednesday. We're hoping to have the racetrack completely finished. The Shane laying the track out and working it, packing it, getting it in the way he wants it, and then we'll put in the safer barriers, to complete the track work.
I think the safer barriers that you guys use are very. It either is the RJ Valentine safer system, or it's very close. I don't know too many other go-kart races that use these types of barriers, and I know that our race was the first one to use them. Lanier was way ahead of the curve on that.
Yeah, he was. I mean, and it's just one of those things with Lanier. He's been doing it for so long, and we're lucky to have him, because if it's something that will improve this race, and he felt like that the safety of that and the safety of the karters was worth the investment to buy those. And at the end of the day, Tom, we do one event, and a lot of people would not spend that kind of money on those barriers to put around a racetrack for one event, but he wouldn't have it any other way. And we put those out, and I can tell you firsthand, they've saved a bunch of pain and hurt, but with wrecks, because an indoor race that's a fast racetrack, those guys much rather hit those safe barriers than they would that concrete wall.
Yep.
Scotty, over 27 runnings now of this deal, and I'm sure there's been a lot of interesting moments and a lot of exciting moments. When you look back on your time with this deal, do any particular moments come to mind for you, or is this one of those things where there's too many of them to really dig through and choose a couple?
Well, going back for so long and being either a race in the event or now in the position I'm in now, I think that one of the probably the most memorable thing that's happened with this race is when Lanier put up the 20,000 to win, because that we like to blame him for what's wrong with racing now, is because he thought that we'll put up 20,000 for the 20th annual, and everybody thought that it was just going to be a slaughter fest, and I can tell you that the race was unbelievable. It went caution free.
Yep.
And it was one of the better races you'll ever see. The give and take and the hard racing that, so it that has to be right up there. It really does. I mean, as far as because 20,000 to win, and Jake Davis won that when he had a big year that year, but that kind of, if you talk to his dad, he'll tell you that race really kind of kick-started him.
It did.
For the next 12 months to be, number one in the nation and winning all the big races. So it was a good memory.
Yeah, that was over in 14 minutes. And that's with Victory Lane, because it was all done. The pictures were taken before the time limit buzzer went off. And then the same group of drivers came back out a few classes later for one of the other stock features, and I think they timed out after 3 laps. The time limited, so, for $500 to win. So, you run a perfectly clean race for $20,000 and you crash each other like crazy for $500. That was really interesting, and that started the whole craze of the big money go-kart races. And I mean, Lanier point blank told me last year, he said if I had to go back and do that over again, I don't think I'd have done it. He said I did it just because it was our 20th anniversary. I thought it would be fun. I had no idea I was starting a trend that I'm not so sure is really good for the sport of go-kart racing, and I happen to agree with him. I don't think the big money races are really a good thing for go-kart racing in general.
I'm going to remind him that in 2 years when it's the 30th.
No 30K.
So if this is recorded somewhere, we need to make sure we give him a copy of it.
Yes.
And remind him, but because he's already talking about what we do for the 30th. So and I hope that he don't want to do that. I really don't.
Yeah, we are not paying $30,000 to win.
Yeah.
All right, so we got one more big segment coming up here in a couple of minutes, but we are going to step aside real quick because, well, we've got some business to attend to, and when we come back, we will have even more Motorsports Madness. Scotty Reed, our special guest, as we talk about the O'Reilly National Indoor Kart Championship and a whole bunch of other stuff, too. I'm Jacob Seelman, he's Tom Baker, she's Allie Boulay, and we will be right back with more of the show in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Noah Gregson, and you're listening to Motorsports Madness on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network.
And we are back as we continue this edition of Motorsports Madness. It's our 200th show. So that's why we're excited and why we've been snacking on food and just having a good time. Because, well, when you get to 200, you have a right to enjoy yourself.
It's our 200th show on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Right.
We should clarify.
Yeah,
We've
you're
done
right.
More
We
than
should
200
clarify.
shows.
We have done more than 200 of these in about 5 years now. But 200 with PMN. Thank you, Bob Steele and Sue Mason, for everything you've done for this show. I'm Jacob Seelman. She's Allie Boulay. He's Tom Baker. And we're continuing on with our special guest, Scotty Reed. And I got a tip from Tom during the break. So I'm going to ask you this, Scotty, because I'm genuinely curious now. Talk about the trailer of prizes, because I'm a fan of anything where prizes are involved, but he made this sound really, really, really good. So,
well, it is, and it's a tradition that we talk about the event. Lanier, he buys stuff all year long, and there's prizes on there, and there's what we do is we start off by each day we give away a grand prize winner, for O'Reilly Auto Parts. They get to go to a NASCAR event weekend, a great experience where we pay for their hotel room, tickets to the suite, courtesy of O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they get to just have a great experience. So we draw that ticket first, and then there's about $5,000 worth of prizes on the trailer each day, ranging from go-kart tires, bodies, but also drill presses, power washers, just whatever, tool sets, just everything, random prizes. And we draw tickets for everybody attending the driver's meeting, and they have a chance to win. And it's what we do each day at our driver's meeting. It's a 24-foot flatbed trailer that is smack full of prizes for everybody.
Yeah, it's really a crazy deal. I mean, that's and for those of you who are either listening or watching this show right now, there is a live stream. We live stream all day long from practice at like 8 in the morning to the end of the last feature race. So you actually can watch the drivers' meeting on our live stream and see this trailer of prizes and see everything that's on there. There's probably $4,000 or $5,000 worth of prizes each day that are given away to the drivers, and it's something I've never seen at any other event, and it's really part of the fun of the day is to give away those prizes. And that grand prize is actually to a NASCAR race at Texas Motor Speedway, as you said, and it's a full experience, and you get the suite, and you get into the garage area and such. And I know JD Motorsports has been kind of taking care of that for us over the last few years. So, really want to thank JD, Johnny Davis, and his team for helping us with that. But O'Reilly Auto Parts has been an amazing sponsor, and again, unique to go-karting, the only major go-kart event with a sponsor outside of the karting realm.
Oh, yeah, and they're a wonderful partner. I mean, I just got back from Texas Motor Speedway last week with our display and was out there with those guys, and they're a great partner, and look to continue that for years to come. They're always open to things that we want to do that's different. I think we started 2 years ago, all of our pit passes, you can buy at any O'Reilly Auto Parts store in the United States. They set up part numbers where if our racers in South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, want to go ahead and get their pit passes at a savings, they go in the O'Reilly Auto Parts, they tell them the part number, and they get it, and they bring the receipt to us, and they come in. They don't have to wait in line. It's just and there's things like that they bring to the table, and all the stuff that they help us with giveaways. I'm going to brag on our event again. I race go-karts and been to a lot of go-kart races, and I've never been to an event where when you come to register and you get your stickers and everything as far as our registration room, you also get a goodie bag full of stuff that will have brake cleaner in it, it'll have tools in it, it'll have shop towels, it'll have pen, paper, hats, and different things in that bag. And so that everybody that races our race gets one of those.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I think is awesome too, is you get something just for entering. I mean, you get that goodie bag just for entering the event, and then you have the chance to win all these door prizes. And the other aspect that I know Lanier has always loved, and it really is it's fun for everybody who's there, and it makes also good video to watch it too when it's happening. Is the frisbee toss that we do every year, where you take basically you've got 20 classes each night, so 20 carts, so you got 400 frisbees out there. And, one to each driver, and they toss them up into the crowd. And, there's a ticket on the back, and you can, the spectators can win a prize. So Lanier makes sure everybody gets involved, and that this is not your average go-kart race. We get the drivers involved, the spectators involved, and he gives back to everybody he can that shows up in every way that he can think of. And that's what's always amazed me about this event, and what keeps me coming back to do it every year. It becomes like a family, and everybody just has a great time.
Well, it is, and I mean, we talk about the racers that come and have been coming for so long, but the staff that for every Thanksgiving for so many years have they work this event and they enjoy it. They want to be there. All of our, we have a VIP room for just our employees with food, and there's food in there, and we feed them all weekend, and it's just, it's a big event, and it takes a lot of players and a lot of help, and we've got some really, really good people. It takes a lot of equipment. I tell people all the time that ask, we've probably got 7 or 8 trailers. It's like a carnival comes to town in Batesville. When we're going down there with everything it takes to run this race.
Yeah, you've got a 53-footer that stores the majority of the equipment with the barriers and all that in it. And then, you've got trailers that come behind that with all of the apparel and other kind of peripheral necessary things that it takes the better part of a week to get everything set up there.
Oh, yeah, it does. And, and that's the one thing I told them this year, because it probably one of the most awesome things to watch is when the final checker flag falls on Saturday night, just how fast that racetrack and the banners and everything to do with the racetrack is completely tore down and loaded up after the event's over with. It's amazing how everything's now, we've got it laid out really well, and everybody knows what they have to do. It's pretty awesome to watch, though. I mean, it really is.
There's about 40 or 50 of us on staff now, right, from all over the country that Lanier brings in. I mean, it's, he tries to go and get the best people for the best positions, but then, of course, there are a number of them that are local to the area that, like you said, give up their Thanksgiving to come and work the event for everybody. So it's just it's really a unique race and something that's very, very different. And, we get people that watch the live stream all over the world, which is amazing to me. And I'm hoping, now with what we're talking about tonight, we get a bunch of our audience that'll tune in and check us out on either Friday or Saturday night or both of Thanksgiving weekend and see what's going on.
I hope so. It's an awesome event. I know everybody thinks a lot of times go-karts, and it's kind of a, secondary or, not a big car type race. But if they ever see the competitiveness of it and watch our race in general, it is, every single race is, Tom, you call every one of them, but I can't think of one race or that was, a blowaway last. I mean, it's always right there. There's 3 or 4 of them that are nose to tail to the checkered, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a fast racetrack. It's a challenging racetrack, and it's fun to see. I mean, last year we had them from 86 to 65. Something else that's really unique about kart racing is the wide range of age of people that love the sport and come to our event.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, Tom. I mean, we don't see it just in dirt again. I'm drawing from my experience from the concrete/pavement side.
Yeah.
But it really is. It's a giant family, and it's a very diverse family because, as we've mentioned a couple times during this first half of the show, you really never know who or what you're going to get when you go to a kart race like this. You just know that you're all there for the same reason, and I feel like it's kind of those ties that bring everybody together that makes it so special, as I know you and I have both seen over the years.
Well, yes, that's absolutely right. I mean, when you do anything for as many years as, as I've done this, and a lot of the people have done, you just become sort of associated with the event, and Scotty is no different. And, the late Bobby Waltrip, who worked with me for so long in the booth at the event, he was really the voice of it, in my opinion. And gosh, I mean, so many people. A quick little fun fact, Steve Peterson, who worked our event back in the day, Steve was the gentleman who brought the computerized scoring system, the transponder scoring system, from karting into NASCAR.
And God bless him for it,
too,
because
exactly.
That's an institution that we're certainly glad to have. Okay, Scotty, I'm going to challenge you here real quick. We got a couple minutes left, but yeah, I know this could be really scary. Hopefully, and there may not be a family-friendly story, I don't know, but do you have a Lanier story that's fit for airtime?
Only if Lanier's not in the room with them.
You said you had 2 minutes, and now rest assured, I know that he won't hear this because he probably don't know how to turn on a computer. And I know we don't have a smartphone. So, there's just so many of them. I mean, look, the thing I'm going to say about Lanier, and I say this to everybody. Yes, everybody's got a Lanier story. I've had them when I raced at his place. I can't tell you how many times that he got after me or, whatever. But I can tell you that he absolutely loves this event and goes overboard to try to make this event as good as it possibly can be. If I ask him for something or want to do something, and I'll tell the story as quick as I can, but 2 years ago I came to him and I said, Lanier, we got to step this thing up. I want to do a concert on Thursday night. And he scratched his head, and if you ever know Lanier, he does that smile. He's not smiling. It's just his teeth are white, and he's wanting to cuss you out, but he just pretends to hide it with a smile. But he said, well, if you think it'll work, we'll do it. And I said, all right. And so we did it, and the guy was outstanding. Great concert.
Yes, he was.
Just horrible timing. Everybody was parking their rigs, and it just didn't go over as well as I really thought it was going to in my mind that I'd laid it out. And so he went to go pay the guy, and so then my phone rings, and he's like, hey, come see me. And I was like, oh, no, I will come see you tonight. We'll talk about this on Sunday, But it sums him up, though, as far as trying to make this event as good as it can be. If it means taking a chance, just like the Winged Outlaw carts this year, there's no Winged Outlaw carts in this area. But we went to Iowa. We watched them race. They're fantastic. It was great racing, and it was at a kart event. And he said, we got to add those. We just have to. We have to be the first one in the area. We have to give them a chance to come down and race. And we added them this year with Adrenaline Series. And I can tell you and I think we're going to get 8 to 10 of them. I've already got calls from them, and I think it's going to be one of the or 4 of the better races all weekend. I really do.
All right, Scotty, we're up against our break, but thank you so much for coming on and chatting about the ONIKC with us. We really appreciate your time, and I know Tom is as much looking forward to seeing you guys pull it all together again just as much as I am to be able to watch some of the live stream of it.
Well, awesome. Thank you guys for having us on and promoting our race. We really appreciate that.
That's Scotty Reed. We're going to step aside. Motorsports Madness resumes in just a moment.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
Here at Lewis Meineke, we're more than just your average car care center. Hey, it's Dave, your neighbor from Lewis Meineke. Whether you need an oil change, brakes, tires, or anything under the hood, we've got you covered. Take advantage of our free check engine light service as well. Yes, free. And don't forget about our free shuttle service. Never stress, we'll take care of the rest. On with life. Give us a call at Lewis Meineke, 302-827-2054.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is
Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm NASCAR driver William Byron. You're listening to Motorsports Madness on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network.
Sorry, I got distracted air drumming. Motorsports Madness.
only
I'm
one
Jacob
drummer
Seelman.
in
He's
there.
Tom Baker. Yeah, I know.
You're
I
supposed
suck
to
at
be
air
air
drumming.
trumpeting.
Well, there was no trumpet in that reentry. So here's my transition point. Last year around this time, we were talking about the Championship 4 in the Xfinity Series, and William Byron, who just brought us back from break, decided, hey, I'm going to go and win Phoenix and make my way into the Championship 4, thanks. And this weekend, we're again setting the Championship 4s in Phoenix. You've got the truck race Friday night, the Xfinity race Saturday afternoon, and the Cup race Sunday afternoon, which is going to be really, really, really interesting because, well, of course, there was breaking news, which I know we won't have enough time to talk about in this segment. It's going to be coming up in the second half of the show. But NASCAR kind of, sort of drops Mike.
They lowered the boom on Stewart Haas Racing, and we'll get to that in the next segment. But
hey guys,
what?
Just a hint to what's coming up. It's in the table description for this week.
Yeah, I saw that. Very clever. Those of you watching us
clever.
on Race Chaser Media Facebook Live, you'll look at our box and see what.
And those of you who are just listening to us, well, you'll just have to wait.
Legal
for 2
spoilers,
minutes.
indeed.
Yes.
So real quick, I just want to put a bow on the karting deal because for anyone who wants to watch the live stream, I'm just going to give you our Facebook for the race. And just everybody go like the Facebook, and we'll link the stream to it once we go up next Thursday. And it's karting with a K, Karting, karting, ONIKC. Just type that into the search box on Facebook. You'll find the Facebook page. Click it, give it a like, and check us out. Karting, ONIKC.
Hey, you can spell.
I can. I can spell ONIKC.
Yes.
I don't know if I can spell anything else, but
it's an acronym.
I actually lost a spelling bee once because I on a capital letter.
Spelling bees aren't supposed to involve capital letters.
I didn't think so either, but he said spell Bible. I said Bible. He said spell it again. I said Bible. He looked at the girl. He said spell Bible. She said capital Bible. She said you lose, you win. I was not a happy fifth grader.
No.
That was really, I was so mad.
Somebody screwed you out of a spelling bee.
I got screwed.
Jeez. Wow.
I got screwed.
Okay. On that note, we're going to go to break and end the first half of Motorsports Madness. The second half, where we'll talk about legal and illegal spoilers, comes up right after this.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What?
No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm gonna do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up.
See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What?
No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
If you're a gearhead and you just can't get enough of your favorite motorsports on that channel on the cable, or you look at that Guy network and you just go, what does that have to do with me? We have the answer. Performance Motorsports Network. Right here on the internet. The best cruising tunes, the best in motorsports programming, and the best shows. We have opinionated hosts, and we like it that way. If you want to get involved, if you want to bench race, be listening for information coming up soon right here on this channel, the Performance Motorsports Network. Your source for motorsports.
I'm an HRA Pro Stock Racer, Tanner Gray, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
And we're back. Motorsports Madness on the Performance Motorsports Network and Spreaker and the American Forces Network and the Race Chaser Media Facebook page and all sorts of other fun places that you can find us just about anywhere. Just look for wherever you would look for your favorite podcast. Look for us, or for all of our servicemen and women who are listening to us on AFN. We are glad you are.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Yes, absolutely, and thanks as well to the folks at Sports Byline USA for what they do to help make this show possible. And Tom right now is going to tell us about another one of the partners, My Computer Career, that makes this show possible.
Hey, Randy, is your job sucking the life out of you? Just nod. Yeah, he's not. Okay. Well, hey, look, here's the point. If your job is sucking the life out of you or you want to do something else, it's time to make a career change. Think about information technology. I know what you're thinking. I'm not a math and science person. No problem, because it's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. My Computer Career helps people start an IT career in as little as 4 months. That's their thing. If you don't absolutely love what you do, here's what you do. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can start your new life as an information technology professional in as little as 4 months. You can attend classes on campus. They have 7 all over the country. Or you can do that live online just 2 or 3 times a week to get what you'll need to start your new career. It's more than just a school. My Computer Career actually helps you get into the industry by working with hundreds of employers that hire their students. My Computer Career is a nationally accredited, I should say, and financial aid is available for those who qualify, including the GI Bill. Classes start soon, so go take the career evaluation now. It's totally free at mycomputercareer.edu. mycomputercareer.edu. And we thank the folks of My Computer Career for joining our family of supporters here on Race Chaser Radio, HMS Motorsport, the leaders in motorsport safety, also a part of our family. And you can find them on the web at hmsmotorsport.com. Back to you, Jacob.
Indeed, and back to me just in time to get ready to send it back to another break. But coming up,
back to Randy.
Back to Randy to push a button. But coming up on the second half of our program, we're going to break down the penalties that were issued from NASCAR earlier this week and what it means for the championship contenders in the Cup Series going into this weekend's race at ISM Raceway, formerly known as Phoenix. Back with more Motorsports Madness right after these words.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Every 30 minutes, another innocent person is killed due to a drunk driver.
My best friend, my brother, my poor grandchild,
my sister,
my father, my husband,
my mom, my mommy.
Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you.
Stop these tragedies before they happen. Don't drink and drive.
The Performance Motorsports Network is a compilation of shows about motorsports. From technical to controversial to just fun, everything you like about racing and gearhead stuff is right here on one internet channel. The Performance Motorsports Network. Tell your friends about it.
Hi, I'm Reed Sorensen. Racing has been a part of me and my family for as long as I can remember. I had to make tough choices early on to get to the top. It took hard work and dedication. But it's those tough choices that helped me prepare for challenges I would face as a Cup driver. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, I'm Matt Tift, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Hey, we've got Allie trained well enough that she's air tromboning.
Yes.
Much excite.
Yes.
Welcome
It's
back
the
to
Race
Motorsports
Chaser-
Madness.
Race Chaser Orchestra.
Ha. Well, yeah, that's about right, I guess. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay, Randy Miller's punching buttons in the tech shed, and somewhere Cisco Scaramouza exists. I guess since we're talking NASCAR now, we can actually get
I'm a disembodied voice tonight, Jacob,
Aw.
unfortunately.
Aw.
The internet gods do not want to work with us today.
Cisco is playing the part of the mysterious neighbor on
or as Humpy
Home Improvement.
Yes, or as Humpy Wheeler once called me when he was in this studio a year or so back, the voice.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So he's Wilson from Home Improvement tonight.
He's Wilson.
Yes,
Yes,
he's Wilson.
Cisco is playing the part of Wilson.
All right, so let's talk some NASCAR, shall we?
Ah, yeah, let's do it.
And let's talk kaboom goes the Harvick.
Yeah.
Because we kind of sort of had some news on Wednesday morning, and I will channel my inner meme lord here. You get a penalty, and you get a penalty, and you get a penalty. Everybody gets a penalty. At least everybody that went back to the R&D center. I did a very good job not to hit you, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I was worried. You're like, you get a penalty. You get a penalty.
Jacob Seelman playing the part of Oprah.
Yes, very much Oprah, but you don't get a prize.
Don't get
No,
a
Where's my
prize.
prize?
What?
Is it under
No.
my seat?
Actually,
Nope, not
penalty.
under my
Yeah,
seat.
Jacob was actually more like playing the part of Scrooge.
Yeah, well, I'm just
handing out
being
bad
honest.
things.
Okay.
I mean, it's coming around time to be Scrooge.
It's a lump of
Yeah,
coal.
it is getting close to. Hey, listen. After what Kevin Harvick and Stuart Haas. Well, okay, sorry, not Kevin Harvick. After what Stuart Haas Racing did They deserve a lump of coal. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Illegal spoilers. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You're better than this.
They
Why?
were probably running it all year long, and like you said
just
in the
didn't
last
get
show,
caught?
NASCAR just wanted to drop the mic, and they wanted to.
See, I can't
let's
believe
mess with
that would be
Harvick
the
and
case.
do an
No,
illegal spoiler.
I don't believe they were doing this all year, but what I don't understand, Tom, is why, when you're faster than everybody else already, do you have to cheat to get ahead?
That was my question. I mean, the whole thing, look, it's no mystery that these teams, since we brought in this big discotheque-looking thing that's called the Hawkeye, these teams, Cisco, are pushing the envelope like crazy. This is not new. But to do what SHR did, and it's as if, and I'm going to speculate reasonably here, they made their own spoiler. That is the silliest. It's obvious. It's like Michael Waltrip with a jet fuel a bunch of years ago. If you're going to cheat, at least make it not so obvious.
Yeah, and do we know how different it was? Like, was it a quarter inch or what was it specifically? But nonetheless, they got the nail files.
Well, it was a few thousandths of an inch, but there was more to it than that, but we're not going to be the ones to put all of that out there. But you got to suffice it to say that we know the story here, and it was well worth the penalty that they got. It's just very interesting to me that they would choose this timing to try to pull this scam when he's basically, Harvick had 1 foot in Miami as it was. All he had to do was just do it.
He had one, so he was in.
He was playing hokey pokey.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he was
had
in.
both feet in, the entire car in, the trailer, the hauler, basically everything you could possibly need at Homestead.
All you have to do is just go do your thing.
And he took the
Then
driver
the team
out.
got a full dosage of vegetables.
Hey, guys. Guess what?
What?
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Literally breaking news right now.
Right now?
Right. Yes. Thank you. I've been waiting for somebody to do that for a couple months. Thank you.
This is why we brought Allie in.
Yes. This just in from the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the Team Penske garage area.
Uh-oh.
For the first time, maybe ever, but I know for sure in a lot of years, the number 22 car next season in the Xfinity Series will not have a rotating cast. It will have
who's
one
driving.
driver. Austin Cindric will run the 22 car full time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series next season.
So they're going to go for both driver and owner championships?
Absolutely.
Well, that's interesting.
That's
It's
a lot
about
of bling
time,
for
That
right?
wasn't
them.
where I thought you were going, because yesterday
Where did
morning.
you think I was
Well,
going?
yesterday morning, remember, Regan Smith put a cryptic tweet out.
Ah, yes, he did.
That showed a Penske moving truck and his Colorado house, and Regan saying, "There's only one owner that I've never driven for in the garage. Here goes nothing," with a smiley face, and just kind of left it like that, implying that he's going to get out of Colorado entirely, focus here once again, and the implication was maybe he was going to drive the Penske Xfinity car, and now we know that's Austin Cindric. So unless he's going to be in a second Penske Xfinity car, then it would have to be Roush Fenway Racing, if in fact that's what the tweet meant. But now I'm beginning to wonder.
Well, okay, so this at the bottom of the press release that just came in my email. Team Penske will continue to run the number 12 Ford Mustang on a limited basis next year with Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, and Paul Menard sharing the driving duties. They can't run it full time because you can't run Cup drivers in the playoffs, but they can run it for at least part of the season.
That's the company car.
That's the company car.
So,
correct.
So that leaves Regan out of the Penske mix. At least we think.
Well,
so,
we don't know. We think.
How
but
many
we don't
drivers
know.
can you have in an all-star celebrity company car?
It doesn't matter. I mean, now if they wanted to run it for the Owners' Championship, I suppose you could put Regan in for the playoffs because he's not a Cup driver.
well, but I'm saying the implication of the tweet, if you're moving out of Colorado, if you're giving up on that sort of split residency thing,
right,
and you're coming back, and you're saying there's only one owner that you haven't driven for, and there's a Penske truck there. Now, you pointed out, Jacob, that Jack Roush was also an owner that seems to have not driven for. So, and I don't remember either way, but so I guess we'll just have to see. But it appeared as though there was something brewing for next year for Regan Smith, and I hope so.
Yes,
but
I hope so.
Cisco,
too.
I'm happy for Cindric here because Austin has had some terrible luck this year, but he has shown that he can compete in the Xfinity Series. I think he runs for a championship next year and really gives everybody else a run for their money.
So Cindric's in the 12. The company car's the 22. The 60 is still going to be cursed.
Cindric's in the 22.
Cisco, 22. 22.
Cindric's in the 22. Yeah.
Okay.
So the 12 is now the company car.
Yeah, the 12 is the company car. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because the 22 is the more known Penske car in the Xfinity. I'd say, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, correct.
The 60 is still going to be, the 60 is still cursed, but that's what I was
You're not wrong.
Why don't we bring back the 02? Why not? How many more cars can we have with 2s on them? Because we can have the 2, we can have, you can't do the 20. We could do the 02, we could do the 21, I guess, technically.
Well, no, the 21.
Are there any
No,
other
you
numbers we
the
could
2,
do?
the 22,
21
the
in
12.
Xfinity is already RCR. That's the car that we
that will
presume
work.
that Tyler Reddick will be driving next year.
Yes, we presume. Which
So do we have to do a 5 then? Are they going to have to start buying out 5?
Yeah, that probably,
Penske numbers?
We got off track, though. We were talking about Kevin Harvick.
We were talking about Kevin Harvick.
What did this penalty do for Harvick in terms of the playoffs?
It dropped him from locked into Homestead to not locked into Homestead and only 3 points above his teammate Kurt Busch on the cut line to advance to Miami. So this is a really big deal. It's blown it wide open.
Now, let's play the scenario out here because you've got Kevin Harvick right on the cut line and 3 points below it is his teammate Kurt Busch. Now, we believe that Kurt Busch, after Homestead, is gone. He going over to Ganassi. So we believe that's what's going to happen. What if Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick are on the racetrack together fighting for the final spot in the playoffs the next week at Homestead? How friendly is Kurt Busch going to be to Kevin Harvick? Because he's out of there after Homestead. And here's the part B of that scenario.
Yeah.
What if he goes and wins the championship? What if Kurt somehow gets in and wins the championship? Now,
then it makes Gene Haas's decision a whole lot more difficult.
Now does he still go anywhere?
That's a great question, and one I don't think
there's a reason as to why he's an outlaw.
Yes, that is true. So we're going to step aside. When we come back, we're going to have more NASCAR conversation and some sprint car conversation with a British chap who is, British, who's been running with the World of Outlaws. More madness after this.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right, it's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves a majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits. HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ben Rhodes, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Welcome back to the Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay, Cisco Scaramuza with you, talking racing, and Randy Miller behind the glass in the tech shed. And we talked about penalties. We had some breaking news in the last segment. So let's take a quick look at the championship four in each of the three classes, at least as it sits right now, shall we? Because the truck series right now, we know the two GMS trucks are safe. We know Johnny Sauter and Justin
50%.
Haley are racing for a championship. Right now, the two Toyotas in Brett Moffitt and Noah Gregson are in on points with the two ThorSport trucks chasing them. Gosh, I feel like we're playing Noah's Ark. It's 2 by 2 by 2.
2 by 2 by 2.
Yeah, exactly. So do we stay the same in Friday night's 150 lapper, or do one of the two ThorSport boys bump their way into the Final Four?
Oh, boy. That's
I know, that's a loaded question.
That is a loaded question. I don't know if I see either one of them bumping in, but I could just as easily see either of them bumping in. The truck series is such a toss-up. I mean,
it is.
You just never know from track to track. The one thing that I am sure of is that I like Noah Gregson's chances of winning the championship a lot better than I did a few weeks ago, because Noah's really he's really settled down, and I think he's really refocusing on what he needs to do in order to make that happen. And I could definitely see him doing it, even though I'm still picking Justin Haley to win the championship. Grant Emfinger, Matt Crafton, either one obviously could win. And again, because Phoenix is going to be, I know it's the same track, but the mindset's different because the starts and restarts are going to be at the opposite end, which is going to make those a lot crazier. Yeah, everything's changed now. You're going to have to reorientate yourself. I don't know. I just think this is almost like an outlier race, like we're going to a track for the first time.
I wouldn't go that far. I think some of it is still going to be driven the same, a little more than you think once we actually get into racing condition. But we'll see. Now, on the Xfinity Series side, of course, we had the breaking news last segment that Austin Cindric will be in the 22 car full-time next year. He's in that car trying to win a championship at the moment, and he is in a must-win situation. Christopher Bell is in a must-win situation.
Yes.
And this is the driver who won 6 races this year, yet he pretty much has to win or he doesn't go to the Final Four. Can Seabell do it? That's the question I'm asking in the Xfinity Series. Custer is in. He won at Texas. Reddick, Sadler, and Hemrick are the rest of the guys in on points right now. But can Bell win his way in?
It's not 2 by 2.
No, it's not.
No, Noah's Ark.
Can Bell win his way in? Sure.
Sure.
Of course he can.
Will he win his way in?
Will he win his way in? No.
See, I disagree because
I
he's
think
been
yes.
so strong at Phoenix, both in a truck and the Xfinity car. I believe you back him against a wall and he comes out that much stronger, Cisco. I say he does it.
It's going to be close because if you look back to the previous race they had this season at Phoenix, Justin Allgaier was the first non-Cup guy in the standings there. He finished second, then Bell finished fourth. So certainly I think he can and will have a car good enough to win, but is he going to work his way into the championship? He's going to have to outrun Justin Allgaier, in my opinion. That's the guy. He's the guy that you've got to watch in all of this, and we'll find out. See, Bell, are you going to win the championship? I mean, we all said at the beginning of the season that, oh, yeah, no, he's got it in the bag. He's just going to go in and William Byron everybody. Well, let's find out, boys.
Yeah, let's find out.
I don't believe I don't think this is Justin Allgaier. I don't see that, Jacob. I'm going to tell you who I think the road to winning at ISM Raceway goes through, and that is Daniel Hemrick.
Really?
Yes, I believe this is the week that driver goes out there and they get it done, and Daniel Hemrick wins his way into the championship, even though right now he's in the top 4.
Wow.
I think they know that for them, it's basically must win.
But Daniel Hemrick's in the top 4 right now.
Yeah.
Yes, but
By
Christopher
12
Bell
points.
isn't. So the way that you've got to think about this is we can't afford. There are some good drivers like Christopher Bell that are chasing him. You got to go in thinking we have to win.
I get your mindset.
And I think he does.
All right, and in the Cup Series, the only question that matters is the question that I'm going to ask. The last time we backed Kevin Harvick against a wall going into Phoenix, he wiped the floor with everybody and won. Is he going to do it again?
2x2.
I don't know. If you're asking my opinion right now, yes. But and again, I'll tell you who I think he's going to have to go through to do it is the 18 car Kyle Busch. I think that's the car I'm watching.
I think Kyle's going to spend the entire race chasing the 4 car on Sunday.
Well, and that may be the case, but that would still be the point, is you have to pass Kyle Busch to win. And
not if you start ahead of him.
Well, okay.
And Kevin Harvick's been a pretty good qualifier at ISM Raceway too. So.
I think certainly I would feel better about saying Harvick will win to get in than Bell will win to get in on Saturday.
Harvick's already in, so he'd be winning to stay in. The
But
only guy I think can win his way in is Chase Elliott. He's been second and third in his last
Oh,
two
see,
starts
I'm not.
at ISM.
No, I mean, and I'm not saying that Chase can't win, but the guy I'm watching outside the top 4 is Kurt Busch.
Fair enough.
Because Kurt Busch is a man with theoretically nothing to lose.
Fair enough.
Can I get a high five?
Sure, why not?
Kurt Busch.
Yeah, I think Kurt Busch has the best shot of those guys. He's going to drive his tail off.
Cisco?
Right now, I think Kevin Harvick is probably
Cisco turning cat.
Yeah, it's a cat game. Kevin Harvick right now stands out to me as the guy who's going to go out and win this race, but I don't think I'm confident to say that. Ask me again after qualifying, because that's really going to tell us what the speed is. Because if Harvick goes out there and sits on the pole, everybody's going to be in for a bad time on Sunday.
Yes,
if he doesn't, and the times are a lot closer, I think that tells us a lot more about where everybody is in terms of the notebook at Phoenix. Because like we've talked about for weeks and weeks, yes, they flipped the track. But does that mean you throw the notebook out the window? We don't know. It's still technically the same track. We don't know how that's going to affect everything.
All right, so real quickly in this segment now, we're going to shift gears and go to sprint car racing for a couple minutes because we got a really cool interview, and I can only do a little bit of setup for this. But Tom Harris is a driver who came to the United States from the United Kingdom, which is England for those of you who aren't as familiar.
Cheerio.
And has done a lot the last couple of months. He had an excursion with some of the biggest races in American sprint car racing. They don't have that in England. And I got a chance to catch up with him at the World of Outlaws World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte just a week ago now. And he had a lot to say. He's got a cool story. So I'm going to let Randy push a button, and we're going to hear from Tom Harris because I'm telling you, this is a really cool chap that really enjoys racing here in the States.
Tom Harris, certainly one of the most interesting stories of this World of Outlaws World Finals. You said to me you've been learning, and this has been an experience for you, the time you've spent in the States. The Little 500, the Knoxville Nationals, and now here at the World Finals. What's this adventure been like?
Oh, it's amazing. I can't thank everybody back home enough. Jamie, Jane Everson, Scrap Metals, because, as a boy I played on the PlayStation game, played the World of Outlaw Dirt Vision game, and, always dreamed of doing it, and he's made that that dream possible. So I can't thank everybody back home, and my dad and everybody here, and Robert Ballou for all his help, and Sammy and Kevin Swindell have been great to me this weekend. Bernie from the race parts. I can't thank everybody that's behind this team enough for making this possible for me.
So it's been a true team effort, not only to get you here, but to get you up to speed.
Yeah, that's right. Sammy's been talking me through a few things, and he's probably one of the greatest wing drivers there is, and for him to take interest and give me guidelines, and that heat race then, it's paying off. And Kevin's just been down and said, hey, you almost look like you know what you're doing. So well, hopefully we're stepping in the right direction.
So an Englishman in sprint car racing obviously is one where the fans look at it and maybe raise an eyebrow and want to take an interest. What got you into this? I know you mentioned the game, but when did you actually start racing a real car?
2 years ago, I always wanted to go into sprint car. So I went to 3 years ago. I went to a Smiley Sit-in sprint car school in Texas. A couple of my sponsors from back home put it together for me as like a present. And when I got in that thing, I got hooked, and we then went to the Chili Bowl. And after the Chili Bowl, it's progressed from there. So I made the Chili Bowl A-Main this year, which is a dream of mine. From when I first went to the event, and then to come here in the Knoxville Nationals, then World of Outlaw World Finals. It's pretty special, and now I'm hooked totally.
What's been your favorite moment of this adventure the last 6 or 8 months?
Just really getting up to speed, some of the outlaw guys, some of the full-time guys coming over and saying, you're heading in the right direction, and you're progressing every time you get in the car, and compliments like that from those sort of guys make a big difference, and keep you, in the hunt for wanting to progress and do better.
Obviously, you mentioned you're hooked now. What's next? What are we going to see from you going forward here into 19?
Well, hopefully we're going to come and run a lot more, going to do a few more local shows, so get more laps in the car, because that's what I'm definitely short of. The more time I sit in the seat, the better I feel, and the more comfortable I feel in the car, and so hopefully run a few more local shows to get some laps, and then who knows what we're going to do next year.
Is there any sprint car racing much back in England?
No, we don't have sprint cars at home. That's why we have to come over here. And the twice I've been in the wing car, I've come over and raced against the best. So it's pretty special. You come over and my heat race yesterday, David Gravel. All the boys, they know the name Brad Sweet, all the Pittman, all the names are in that heat race, and to be part of it's pretty special.
What's been the reaction from not just everybody back home, but from everybody here that you're trying to do this?
Oh, it's amazing. I get a lot of hate and a lot of support back home. It's 50-50 really. There's a lot of people over there that are fairly jealous of this all happening really, because a lot of people have talked about it, but nobody's ever done it. So the Americans, they can't thank you enough for coming over, and they appreciate it, and they love our accent. So we get talked to quite a few people, and overall they're really welcoming, and we can't thank everybody enough for here, like Kane's lot and like Swindell's and Indy Race Parts guys, everybody that's lent me parts or helped me out. We can't thank everybody. It wouldn't be possible without those people. So I can't thank you enough.
And with that, we'll go ahead and step aside, and when we return, we will have more sprint car conversation and one more interview on this show as well. You're listening to Motorsports Madness, and we'll be back right after this.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
How to deal with someone who says that's so gay. Outsmart them.
This party is like so gay. Totally.
Excuse me, but did you ladies know the word gay used to mean happy or excited? Then it became a word used to describe gay people. Then somehow it came to mean dumb or stupid, which is how you just used it, which is not very nice.
Ew, that guy is on the football team and super smart, and he totally hates us now. Totally.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off. Learn more at thinkbeforeyouspeak.com.
Hi, I'm Cole Custer, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Hey, speaking of the only guy who's locked into the Xfinity Final Four, there's Cole Custer.
That's exactly right.
Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay, Cisco Scaramouza. Last segment we heard from Tom Harris. Before we go to our next interview, Tom, really quickly, I just think his story is cool. You know, to see somebody from his country come across the pond, do what he's done. He made a start at the Knoxville Nationals. He made a start at the World Finals. This is just cool.
The beautiful thing about racing, and especially a series like sprint cars, is it's universal. It's
Yes.
worldwide. And so you see drivers from Australia come over here and race. You see our guys go over there and race.
Right.
And, you know, but to have someone from the UK come over and compete, I think that's really cool. And, again, that's what I love about our sport is that that's possible. And he's just having such a good time here.
Absolutely he is. And I think it's been great, the reception that he's gotten as well, and how welcoming from our side of it things have been. That was one of the things he mentioned to me, and it was really cool to be able to talk to him. And I've caught up with him a little bit on Twitter again in the days since the article I published and talking to him at the World Finals. So that's been fun. Now, the next driver we're about to hear from, Tom, is a driver who hasn't been on the Outlaw Tour for a couple of years, but he was honored by the Outlaws at the World Finals last weekend. Joey Saldana, 3 years late maybe, but celebrated for his 100th victory, which occurred at the World Finals in 2015, the very last race for the Motor Equipment 71 car.
What a weekend for Joey Saldana, and I know what an experience for you to be able to kind of cap off the year and jump behind the wheel of this 41 car for JJR. I want to talk about what happened on stage during opening ceremonies, but before we do that, what's it meant to you to be able to pilot this car and be a part of the rebuilding journey for Bobby and this crew?
It means a lot. I mean, I wasn't planning on coming to this race. I wasn't planning on going to Lakeside or Dodge City. So when you get the opportunity to drive equipment like this, you jump on it. And Jason Johnson built a team a long time ago. He's been building this for a long time, and he's got a great group of people behind him. And so when you get the opportunity to drive the 41 for Bobby and Jax, you just do it because you know you're going to have a shot of winning. And these days, that's what you want to do. If you're going to go to the track and put the effort in, you want to have to be able to think you're going to have a shot of winning. And definitely driving this car, I feel like we do. So we just have to put it all together, and hopefully we can do it tonight.
It's obviously been, again, a bit of a different year for you. You mentioned during opening ceremonies being off the Outlaws Tour for a couple of years, but you hooked up with the Rudine 26 team early in the year and kind of were able to build your own schedule a little bit. Talk about the year as a whole and kind of where you feel like you guys ended up.
Well, I mean, yeah, for me to be able to get an award like that from the World of Outlaws, it's. I mean, what do you say? I mean, I haven't been a part of their series in 2 years, and I was a fixture here for 18, and it was my home, and I enjoyed it, and everything I have today is from racing and the World of Outlaws. So for them to recognize winning 100 races and not being a part of their series for 2 years, that says a lot about them and who they are as an organization. And you know, when in my career, it's either Steve Kinzer or Donnie Schatz. Yeah. And they do so much age, to win 100 races, it's hard to even get any exposure there because they're winning 200. But in the scheme of things, to me, my hero was Doug Wolfgang, and he didn't win 200 or 300. Not that he couldn't have, but it was just a harder journey for him, and I'm kind of the same journey. It's just been harder for me to do. I haven't driven the same team my whole career. You just try to find a ride and do it and do the best you can. I was lucky enough to be a part of KKR for 7 years, and that really put me on the map. And we won 77 races in them 7 years. So it just means a lot because I know how much hard work my family and myself have put into it, and to win 105 and then recognize my 100th win, that just means a lot. So hopefully we can go out there tonight and put the 41 up front. I mean, it's hard to win an outlaw race. Trust me. Some nights it's like it's impossible. You just have to do everything right. So we're starting 13th, and we just want to have a good finish and good solid night. And then Kevin Rudin gave me a great opportunity this year. We just had a lot of issues with our motors and just couldn't. We needed a truck driver, and it's just a lot of work. And him being based out of Washington and me, Indiana, it was just hard to make work. And I appreciate everything he's done for me. He's been a good friend of mine for 15 years, so that'll never change. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Dale Blaney's on me to be an all-star official, so maybe me and him will be all-star officials next year. I don't know. I just get kind of confused why everybody puts me in this old age, and Dale's 10 years older than me. There's a lot of guys out here that are way older than me, but yet, I don't know. I guess because I ran the Outlaws for 18 years, they consider me an old guy, but I don't feel that. Paul McMahon, Tim Schaefer, Lance DeWeese, Kerry Matson, Jason Sides. There's a lot of guys out here that are older than me that can get the job done, but for some reason, people think it's time for me to retire, and I really don't want to do that, but if it is, then it is. I've never been a person to bring money to a team. I've always done it the old school way. Here's my helmet, here I am, let's go race. And definitely today's world, it's changing. You got to have some sort of incentive to go to a team to have a shot at racing for them. And it's scary for my kids, but that's just the way it is right now.
What do you remember from that win at Charlotte a couple years ago with the 71M team and the Motter crew?
Well, I mean, at the time, Dan Motter was done. He committed to me for 3 years with the World of Outlaws, and we did that. And whenever you can win the last race of the season with the World of Outlaws is big. And I did it before at KKR. And it's just big for your team and your sponsors and just going in the off-season. So knowing that was going to be Dan Motter's last race, my last race with him, and to go out the way we did, to drive by Donnie Schatz and win that race. I mean, it's pretty special that it was my 100th win, but it was pretty special just to win that race in this scene and the amount of people that support the World Finals and what it is. So it was just a very big night. So it would have been really cool to celebrate your 100th win, and it's cool that Chris Dolak pursued that and kept after it and made that recognized to the public. For me, I'm content with it. It is what it is, but definitely his persistence in getting that recognized, I owe a lot of it to him within the World of Outlaws for making that happen.
You mentioned you're not ready to retire.
No.
Do you have anything lined up for next year at this point, or is it a search through the off season for you?
It's a search. After Dan Motter, I was looking for a ride. I went with Dennis Roth. Dennis Roth, who won 6 races, 5th in the points, got laid off. Looking for another ride. Went to the 17 team. That was just a disaster for me. Never really had a ride all year. Then hooked up with Rudin this year. So it's been like the last 4 or 5 years. It's been just chasing ride after ride after ride. It's like, sometimes you just kind of sit back and reflect on it. I've won a lot of races. I mean, obviously I've never won Donnie Schatz numbers. But it's like wins don't matter anymore. It don't matter. I mean, for me it does because I know how hard it was. But, I'm at 110 outlaw races, and it doesn't really matter. They'll take someone to drive a car that's won 1 or 2 nights. It's just changing, and I understand that. My dad went through that. It's kind of funny. My dad, me and him were talking the other day. You know, he was an IndyCar driver in the late 70s, and right about 79, 80, 81, the whole IndyCar, it kind of was changing. It was money. You know, hey, you're a great driver, but Joe Saldana, Larry Rice, guys like that had a lot of potential and could run these cars, they didn't need them anymore. So for my dad, it was like, hey, I made it to the pinnacle of motorsports. I did everything I could do. I'm retiring. And he quit at 40 years old. And I realize our stands are full and sprint car racing is prosperous right now, but it's kind of scary, really, for drivers. If you look, there's really only 4 real professional drivers out here. Everybody else has a tie financially, or it's a family-owned deal, or this or that. You don't really come in here and have a shot at being a driver anymore. It's a totally different deal, and it's kind of like the early 80s with Indy cars. So, I mean, I know it is what it is, but it's just kind of worrisome for me with my 2 boys. If they want to do it and be successful at it, you know, it's, you know, obviously when you're Kyle Larson talent or Christopher Bell, when you're that exceptionally good, you know, obviously you're going to go, but there's a lot of talented guys out here that deserve it, but can't do it because they don't have the money to do it right. So that's the scary part, but that's motorsports in any form.
So with where it's at, with where you're at in your life, in your career, would you ever consider going back on tour again?
Oh, most definitely. Biggest thing is team. All these guys got money. It's always about money, money, money. But really, at the end of the day, it's about the team. I think this team right here, the 41, David Gravel, Philip, Tyler, Patrick, Bobby, they're going to be, I think they're going to be a big threat. They have a great package, and they got a great team atmosphere. They've accepted me with open arms, and I'm only here for 4 races. They accepted Carson Macedo, you know, and that's a big thing in motorsports. It's team. And anybody you tell you in any business, I don't care if it's shining shoes, cutting wood, or having a race car, it's about the team and the people you surround yourself with. This team has a lot of potential, so, I mean, if an opportunity like this would have been there for me, I would have jumped on it, because I've done it long enough to know that it isn't about money, it's about team, and it's hard to find that out here. You know, people want success right now, and you see that across the street with the stock cars or Indy cars, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do when you're competing against, you know, Donnie Schatz has been with the same combination for 20-plus years, you know, and that's why they're so successful, and they really the only team that's really stayed together continuity-wise would be Brad Sweet at KKR. You know, he's probably been on 10, 11 years now. I mean, maybe not at the Outlaw, you know, running full time, but he's been in that organization to where you can see they're finally chipping at it, winning the Knoxville Nationals, and all these other teams need to see that. If you're going to beat Donnie Schatz, it's not going to happen in a year or 2. It's going to take you 5, 10 years, or he's going to retire. I don't know, which he could easily do it. He don't have to race. He races because he loves it, and that's probably why he's so successful. It isn't about, you know, paying insurance or paying your mortgage or any of that. He does it because he loves it, and that's why he's so successful at it.
So Randy's finger got a little trigger happy over there a minute ago. Now, Tom, I'll give you a chance to respond, because Joey said a lot in that, obviously from driving the 41 car at World Finals.
Yes.
But he's a man, I think, at peace with his situation in the sport.
Yeah, and I don't know if I feel good about that or bad about that. I think it's reality, as he said. He gets it, but I don't know if it's good. I don't know if Joey Saldana should feel good about his position. I still feel like with the right team, Joey Saldana could be up chasing wins. I mean, let's face facts here. Donnie Schatz is not a spring chicken. You know, he's been around a long time. He's won 10 of these titles. I just sort of feel like maybe sprint car racing is going in a direction that it might not want to be in terms of who these teams are choosing for drivers. But, you know, it's also tough when you don't have at least some sort of sponsorship. It's expensive. You know, it's probably $500,000 or more to run a season in the Outlaw Sprint cars. And, I mean, while that's certainly I would argue almost a better value than NASCAR National Series right now.
Because you're running 80 or 90 races.
Right. but it's still expensive.
It
So,
is.
you know,
It
if you
is.
got a chance to get a young kid with money or somebody like Joey with a bunch of wins with no money,
Yeah,
it's a tough choice.
It's tough.
choice.
Carson Macedo obviously would be an example of a young kid with some money, but also a ton of potential in that new situation with Kyle Larson Racing for 2019. We're going to take our final break and come back and wrap all of this together. The end of Motorsports Madness. We wave a checkered flag in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more, but the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Motorsports Sales Professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
You are a waste, a loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Hi, I'm Tyler Reddick, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
All right, so we have exactly 1 minute 47 seconds. Tom, that's time for a quick final thought and pick your winners for Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
In a minute? Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Okay, winners.
Truck.
Friday's truck race, Noah Gregson.
Okay.
Xfinity race, I'm going with Daniel Hemrick. And Cup, I'm going with Kyle Busch.
All right, for me, this is easy. Johnny Sauter in the truck race, Christopher Bell in the Xfinity race, and Kevin Harvick in the Cup race. Allie, can you do it that quickly?
Johnny Sauter, Christopher Bell, Kurt Busch.
Oh, there you go. Allie said it
I
here
like
first.
Okay, Cisco.
All right.
Sauter, Allgaier, and Harvick.
Ooh, okay. So he says Allgaier's going to do it. Interesting. All right, y'all. With that, just as quickly as we came in, we have to get ready to say goodbye. I'm really bummed about that. I
Thanks
know.
to everyone who's been watching us.
Yes,
on Facebook
absolutely. And thanks to our partners as well at My Computer Career and HMS Motorsport for what they do to make this show possible. We certainly could not do it without them, as well as Bob Steele, Sue Mason, and all the folks at the Performance Motorsports Network for everything they've done on making 200 shows on PMN.
Yes.
So
We didn't make a
fantastic.
little banner. We should have made a banner.
Hey, isn't that your job? I feel like you're the art artsy one here.
Should have made a banner.
Oh,
Well,
Allie
I
should have
know-
made a banner.
I agree. She's the artsy one.
Yes.
We're not artsy.
No, we're not. Randy Miller behind the glass
Artsy,
is going to
but not
punch a
artsy.
button and get us out of here in just a moment. Enough time for me to say keep it off the wall, folks. And if you're headed to a racetrack somewhere, we might just see you there. Have a safe racing weekend till we meet again.
You've been listening to Motorsports Madness with the Race Chaser Online crew. Stay tuned to Performance Motorsports Network for more race talk. For the latest motorsports news, visit racechaseronline.com. Motorsports Madness is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network, www.performancemotorsportsnetwork.com. A member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page or our section in the PMN website. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-hosts, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or the marketing partners. Be listening again next week when the madness returns on Monday night at 7 Eastern. Until then, keep it off the wall and keep the shiny side up.